Welcome to my show, Reflections. Hit the like and subscribe button. You are over here with Tarithia. We are here talking about the Anunnaki. Now, if you do not know who the Anunnaki is, well, hopefully after this video, you will have a little better insight of who the Anunnaki is, Reflection, because you see the title. It says the Anunnaki returns. Now, in order to look at what's going on right now, Reflection, we have to go back in the past. Now, as you see from the title, it is the Bible Decoded. Did the Bible really speak about the Anunnaki reflections? And if so, why would that be covered up? Okay. Now, with that being said, everything over here is alleged. Everything over here is for educational purposes only. Okay. Now, with that being said, these videos are not to offend your reflection. These videos are to strike a thought. Pick up what you need from this video and go do your own research. Teresa over here showing you where the lake is. I'm not telling you to jump in, reflection. Okay. Now, with that being said, now that I got my disclaimer out the way, let me turn my music down in my spaceship. You know how I do when I get over here with my crew. Okay. Now, if you just came in, make sure you hit the like button. We're over here talking about the Anunnaki returns. Now, we're actually going to watch a couple of clips, reflection. I remember everything over here is ledge. We're actually going to watch a couple of clips and we're going to stop and we're going to talk about it. Because, I have to stop my spaceship reflection because sometimes things be trying to slip a little shit over our head. So I have to stop, pause, talk about it, recollect. You get what I'm saying? We got to talk about it. We got to know what's going on. We have to get our inner stand, reflection, okay? Because if you don't know the story, then it's easy for somebody to just come and, you know what I'm saying, reflection, take you off the right path. Okay, you may be looking left, and the whole time, reflection, they want you to look right. They say you need to look right because right is right. That's why they named it right. And the whole time, reflection, you were supposed to be looking left. You were supposed to be looking left. It was a illusion.
Some of which date back to ancient times. In the Bible, Ezekiel describes a vision of a wheel within a wheel, which some interpret as a UFO sighting. Ancient Chinese and Japanese texts also describe mysterious flying objects in the sky, and ancient carvings in India and Central America depict strange flying objects, and some speculate that these may have been UFOs. While many of these sightings may have been misinterpretations of natural phenomena, it is possible that some of them may have been genuine encounters with extraterrestrial beings.
Okay, reflection. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? In the Bible, it does speak about these particular flying ships. Now, reflection, you have to remember over here with the decoders, you have to think, reflection, we are also going off information that other people have interpreted. Okay, they have broke this down and decoded it to the best of their ability. Keyword is to the best of their ability. So you get what I'm saying? We have to take it with a grain of salt, reflection. Okay, but you know what they say, if you keep hearing the same shit enough times, reflection, then you will start to believe it. Now, but remember, the stories in the Bible are true, reflection. Okay, sometimes it's just how you interpret it. A lot of people, me and you can go in the same store, but we can have different experiences. We can see the same outfit, but shit, I may think it one way and you may think it another way. That doesn't mean how you think it was wrong. That doesn't mean how I think it was wrong. Okay, so in the Bible, they're speaking of these particular flying objects, reflection, these flying crafts that are in the sky, reflection, in these beings that are on them. So who do you think those particular beings were that they were speaking of in the Bible, reflection? That's just a thought.
Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and they bore children. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. Zechariah 5:1-2. Again I lifted my eyes and saw, and behold, a flying scroll. And he said to me, What do you see? I answered, I see a flying scroll. Its length is 20 cubits, and its width 10 cubits. Ezekiel 1:4-5. As I looked, behold, a stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud with brightness around it, and the fire flashing forth continually, and in the midst of the fire, as it were, gleaming metal, and from the midst of it came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had a human likeness.
Okay, so what do you think about that reflection? Hit the like, subscribe button. You over here with the crew, and this is how we do. We talking about the Anunnaki returns. What do you think about in the Bible reflection? They're speaking of these particular crafts, these flying crafts. They're speaking of the burning bush. Sound like a little do you believe in magic? They're speaking of flying scrolls reflection. They sound like Harry Potter movies to me. But I'm just saying, reflection. Think about it. We thinking outside the box. If you over here with Taretha now, first of all, you have to think outside the box. You can't think in the box, reflection. You got to come out of the fishbowl when you over here with the crew, because this is how we do. We the decoders. We trying to figure out, is this a conspiracy or not? Is the Anunnaki, have they been around? Have they been telling us about these particular beings, reflection? And if so, what would be the reason for their return?
Provides a never-ending fascination.
Is absolute proof of life of ET, that ET is here and has been since the beginning. Now, I tend to extrapolate from that a little bit and claim that a lot of biblical happenings, of biblical events, things that were encountered in the Bible and written about, could well have been ET that they were talking about, because there's every reason to suppose that they were ET, because the people that were writing about them had absolutely no other frame of reference than to attribute these things to a heavenly source, from God and the Almighty and all the rest of it. So they probably have inadvertently absolute proof of the existence of ET and their existence here on Earth since the beginning of time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, reflection. Remember, we unbiased over here with the crew. This is how we do. We have to listen to what everybody say, everybody opinion manner. So some people seem to think, reflection, that shit, they already been here. What are you talking about? Return, Taretha. They been here. Where they returned from? Shit, they been here. Okay, well, shit, let's go down that rabbit hole. If the Anunnaki has been here, if they are here, where they at, reflection? Where are they? Are they high in reflection? What's going on? Let me know. Is the Anunnaki are they coming from as above, or are they coming from below? What do you think? Remember, we're just going down this rabbit hole. Reef ain't saying shit. I just got off my spaceship. I ain't even saying nothing, reflection. I'm just asking you, what do you think?
Provides a never-ending fascination.
Is absolute proof of life of ET, that ET is here and has been since the beginning. Now, I tend to extrapolate from that a little bit and claim that a lot of biblical happenings, of biblical events, things that were encountered in the Bible and written about, could well have been ET that they were talking about, because there's every reason to suppose that they were ET, because the people that were writing about them had absolutely no other frame of reference than to attribute these things to a heavenly source, from God and the Almighty and all the rest of it. So they probably have inadvertently absolute proof of the existence of ET and their existence here on Earth since the beginning of time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, are you talking?
This is when you start.
I had a little technical difficulties. What I said, a little technical difficulties on my spaceship reflection. Stay in with crew. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let me get my mental telepathically. Crew, I need y'all to get my technology together. Then we on Earth. We not on Mars. Get my technology together.
Spaceships that were surrounding the Earth, right? That's the first way they did it, and that's why, as I said, Eric von Daniken, he explains it, that the Earth had giant spaceships, and then they sent a small vehicle that came down and actually took over and helped civilizations.
The ancient Hindu texts, such as the Vedas, the Puranas, and the Mahabharata, contain many stories that could be interpreted as evidence for aliens and alien contact. For example, the Mahabharata contains a story about a battle between the gods and a race of alien beings known as the Danavas. The Danavas were described as having superhuman strength, possessing advanced technology, and being able to fly in the skies. Additionally, the Mahabharata contains stories of a flying chariot, which could be interpreted as a reference to alien craft. Similarly, the Vedas contain stories of strange flying objects, vimanas, which could be interpreted as reference to alien ships. And then the Puranas contain stories of battles between gods and a race of aliens known as the Asuras. And this could be evidence of an ancient alien battle. While these stories may be interpreted as evidence of alien contact.
Okay, Reflection. So what do you think about that? When I tell you nothing is new under the sun, I mean in Reflection. If you want to know what's going on in the present, look back in the past. Okay, so he was saying throughout these different cultures, throughout these different religions, Reflections, they all speak about this great war that is or the spiritual war, as we would call it today, I guess. Reflection, nothing is new under the sun. Okay, this spiritual war that would take place. Reflection, what do you think about that? Is this all just a coincidence, or were they trying to tell us something? Hit the like and subscribe button. You are over here with Taritha, you over here with the crew, and this is how we do.
Refer to 2500 BC, right, when we had like the Egyptian thing happening with the Great Pyramids. Now what happens is they had gods and they were extraterrestrials, and then what their culture and their religion then transferred onto the Greeks, then onto the Romans. So there's something to this, and I even reckon that extraterrestrials helped them to build the pyramids because they're so perfect, and we can't give human answers as to what happened. And then you've got gods with heads of jackals or heads with they got different gods that they looked up to, and like this is what it is, and they're in hieroglyphics or whatever with pictures of birds' heads, like these gods. Now you don't know if they were the extraterrestrial that were given a mask and then made as a god. Like, we don't know. There's these question marks, which really, in reality, when you think about it, it does make sense. And how many religions, as I said, they were destroyed by an asteroid. We can't go back to those ancient civilizations because
he said, I can't get past the heads. I can't get past half head, half bird, half falcon, half human. What are they? Reflection. They trying to say, Reflection. He said, listen, I'm trying to think how you think. He said, listen, I just want to know. Half of them got a head, half of it is regular. Y'all talking about the Anunnakis, they hybrids too. So what do you mean? Is this all coming together? What they talking about the Anunnaki? Are these the same people? Are they different? What are they? Let me know. Reflection. Do you think these beings that they was talking about, even going back to the Egyptians? Reflection. Like he said, when you think about even Horus, he has a falcon on his head. Or you can even think about the jackal. They're half jackal, half God. Reflection. So what do you think about that? What do you think about all that? Is this just a coincidence, or are they talking about the same beings?
Where did civilization begin? Mesopotamia, we are told, which leads us back to the history of the Sumerians and the telling of the Anunnaki gods who descended to earth and fashioned what we call modern man. And what did they believe? They believed that in ancient times, godlike beings descended from the sky and came to earth. And that is what is the meaning of Anunnaki. Anunnaki means those who came from the sky and down to the earth. And that myth to us, history to them, tells a story of a race of beings that came from another planet called Nibiru. And this Nibiru is a planet that has an elliptical orbit, and it takes 3,600 years for it to go from let's say, the inner solar system to the outer solar system and then back again. The problem for Earth is that every 3,000 years, Nibiru comes by and exerts a very powerful gravitational electromagnetic field upon the Earth, which causes devastation. And the most recent epic of the Anunnaki history regards the past 3,600 years and the re-establishment of human civilization after the last devastation, which is traditionally called the flood. Now, why did these...
Okay, so what do you think about that reflection? What do you think about him actually stating about these particular beings in this flood that was supposed to not necessarily get washed away in the flood reflection? But what do you think about, I'm sorry, reflection, a little technical difficulty. I told you they over here fucking with my spaceship tonight. It must be that full moon. That's what it must be, the full moon. Y'all better get from behind my spaceship. Y'all know y'all said y'all at least give me about 35 minutes over here on Earth. I ain't even been over here that long. Don't start now. Don't make me let my crew get off of my spaceship. Okay, roll up and pull up, y'all, because I think it's gonna get a little shaky out here tonight. They know we talking about the Anunnaki and they fucking with technology. So what do you think about the reflection? What do you think about these particular beings? We've all heard of the shift. You know how we say you've heard of the shift of the planet, that even the energy, you can tell, reflection, the energy of the planet allegedly, well, it is no allegedly, we all tell the difference in the energy of the planet, the shift. We all heard about this shift that was coming. Do you think the Anunnaki have something to do with this shift? Remember in the video, he was saying that every 3,600 years, reflection, or 3,000 years, I'm sure it was 36 though, every 3,600 years, reflection, they would actually come back around, and this magnetic it would cause a magnetic shift. Do you think this is the result of another magnetic shift, or is this just another coincidence? Are you like, no, Terethia, that has nothing to do with the shift? Hadn't you never heard about climate change, Terethia? Oh, my bad, I thought it had something to do with the Anunnaki. Well, let me know.
Where did civilization begin? Mesopotamia, we are told, which leads us back to the history of the Sumerians and the telling of the Anunnaki gods who descended to Earth and fashioned what we call modern man. And what did they believe? They believed that in ancient times, godlike beings descended from the sky and came to Earth. And that is what is the meaning of Anunnaki. Anunnaki means those who came from the sky and down to the earth. And that myth to us, history to them, tells a story of a race of beings that came from another planet called Nibiru. And this Nibiru is a planet that has an elliptical orbit, and it takes 3,600 years for it to go from, let's say, the inner solar system to the outer solar system and then back again. The problem for Earth is that every 3,000 years, Nibiru comes by and exerts a very powerful gravitational electromagnetic field upon the Earth, which causes devastation. And the most recent epic of the Anunnaki history regards the past 3,600 years and the re-establishment of human civilization after the last devastation, which is traditionally called the flood. Now, why did these...
Okay, reflection. So that's all very important. I definitely want to go back over that, because reflection, think about it like that. If this is true, and every time the Anunnaki come back around is some type of catastrophic event, reflection, think about it like this. Every time something ends, something begins. Nothing never ends without something beginning. Shit, even out of the ashes rises the phoenix, reflection. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think, if if a cycle is going to end, what do you think, allegedly, we're just going down this rabbit hole, what do you think is for the new cycle? If this is true, reflection, this is a strong if, okay? if there is about to be a alleged reset from the Anunnaki reflection, what do you think is to come in the reset? And do you think it is better or worse for humanity?
Called the flood. Now, why did these gods, what I call aliens, come to Earth? When you read the works of Zecharia Sitchin, you realize from the Sumerian text that the inhabitants of Nibiru needed certain minerals that are on Earth in order to continue their civilization. Their planet is threatened by solar radiation. And the story goes that they needed gold in order to take the gold and transform it into a monatomic form in order to seed their atmosphere so that the gold would protect them from the harmful radiations of the sun as they do their 3,600-year transit. So they came to Earth looking for resources, and they found them. And they found them in the Middle East, and they found them in Africa, which is a mineral-rich continent. They assigned their crewmen to become the miners. And for a long time, the crewmen of the Anunnaki spaceships worked. They were called Igigi. I-G-I-G-I, Igigi.
All right, reflection. So what do you think about that? Let's go down this rabbit hole. So it was alleged that the Anunnaki, they came, reflection, but they didn't come along. They rarely come along, allegedly. So they didn't come along. They were looking for resources, and they found certain resources on this planet, reflection, that was needed. And let's listen more about these particular beings that actually came with them.
And her DNA, there was a goddess who became the repository for this new life form. So each of the gods contributed some aspect of their DNA to make us more like them. And what is more like them? Knowledge of good and evil, knowing life, knowing the existence of life and death and immortality. And so this is where we stand. We are only now finding out about human origins.
Okay, let's stop and let's pause right there because I played the wrong clip, but that's okay because we can still hit a good point right there. Roll up, pull up. You over here with Sarita. Hit the like and subscribe button. We're talking about the Anunnaki returns. Now, remember, reflection. He said in the other clip that the Anunnaki didn't come along. And not only that they came for, you get what I'm saying, they picked up a couple resources. They need a couple resources. You get what I'm saying? You know how you go to the grocery store and shit. You need just a little cup, just a few things. I'm not gonna get everything. I just need a couple. But you know what I'm saying? I really don't feel like getting out the car. So do y'all have any self-shoppers? Do y'all have any self-shoppers out there, reflection?
They assigned their crewmen to become the miners. And for a long time, the crewmen of the Anunnaki spaceships worked. They were called Igigi. I-G-I-G-I, Igigi. However, the Igigi grew weary. They had not signed on to become slaves mining in dark caves, and they rebelled. And when the rebellion occurred, there was a council of the Anunnaki, Enlil and Enki and the other so-called gods, the higher-ranking aliens. They decided to engineer another being as a slave.
Okay, let's stop right there, reflection. Okay, so we was like, listen. I mean, the Anunnaki, they was like, listen. What I say, they was like, listen, reflection, I rolled up, hold up. They was like, listen. We done flew this. We done already flew the ship. We done flew the spaceship. Y'all on the road. You get what I'm saying? You put no water in the spaceship or shit. The least you can do, baby, is to get off and get us some material. That's all you can. I ain't ask you to go in there and get the whole grocery store. Just get a little pinch. Just get a couple little pinch of resources. That's all they was asking for, reflection, and they didn't even want to do it. Let's listen more about this.
The ancient texts of the region frequently make reference to another group of divine beings known as the Igigi, although the exact relationship between the Anunnaki and the Igigi remains uncertain. While their names are sometimes used interchangeably, an example from the Atrahasis flood epic portrays the Igigi as the sixth generation of gods who were assigned the laborious task of excavating irrigation trenches and canals for the Anunnaki. However, the Igigi eventually rebelled after enduring 40 days of strenuous toil and were subsequently replaced by the creation of human beings. Generally, the Anunnaki are regarded as more powerful, while the Agigi are considered lesser deities or laborer-type gods. It is important to note that neither the Anunnaki nor the Agigi are believed to have originated on planet Earth.
You know, reflection, like a motherfucker rhyme with your reflection. You know, you didn't really even invite them, but they said, fuck it, I can help you. You get what I'm saying? Get the grocery shit at the grocery store. Go on ahead. You know, I can take the bad shit to the car for you if you need a little assistance. So next thing you know, reflection, y'all get to the grocery store and shit. They ain't got no money for their groceries. You get what I'm saying? They don't want to get your groceries, even though you finna pay for their groceries. You done drove them to the store and everything. It was on some shit like that. Reflection. They flipped the script on the Anunnaki. They ain't even wanna, you get what I'm saying? They just asked them to get a little pizza resource, just a little pinch. Just a little pinch. And they said we didn't even sign up for all this. We didn't say we was finna get all these bags. We said that ain't what they said though, reflection. Allegedly, they knew the assignment. They didn't know the depth. You know how motherfuckers tell you, listen, we finna go take over the world, Craig. We finna take over the world. But they don't tell you all the shit you gotta do to take over the world, Craig. It was on some shit like that, reflection. You know.
Analyses affirm that it is a complete body, meaning all the cells in the body belong to it alone. It is not a collection of sediments from other bodies. Some of the bodies found have a metallic implant. 85% high-purity copper and other metals, including osmium, discovered by humans only in 1803, and currently used in the construction of satellites and telecommunications. Moreover, in the bodies found, one of them appeared to be in gestation. Spectrometry examination showed that the material was organic and actually consisted of ovoid formations, that is, embryos a few weeks into gestation. Then, from tomographies, a recreation was made, and the development of the embryos was compared to the development of a human embryo. And the images are chilling to anyone.
So they're trying to say, reflection, that these particular beings that came down here and didn't want to get a couple of little pinch of resources and put them back on the spaceship, and they ain't even put no water in the spaceship. They just rode, reflection. They ain't even, you get what I'm saying? They ain't even want to get no water and put on the fucking spaceship. They just riding and shit, reflection. They ain't complaining and shit when we asked them to, okay. I'm just telling y'all what happened.
The Sumerians knew the orbital period of Jupiter and Mars, and they notated it in the number of seconds, not days, not hours, not years. They had it in seconds, and Maurice Chatelain discovered this in the late 1960s. And as I said, he was an engineer who worked for NASA, came across these documents, compared them, did his studies, and made this remarkable discovery. So how did the Sumerians know, and why did they need to know and calculate the orbits of Mars and Jupiter in seconds? Only people, beings that need to navigate amongst the planets, need to know how many seconds it takes Jupiter to orbit the sun, or how many.
Think about that right there, reflection. You got to be mighty intelligent. You can reflection. They getting it down to the seconds. They said, listen, we need to know to the seconds because we move like lightning, baby. We move like lightning, so I need to know in seconds. How long does it take for Jupiter and Venus and Mars? If you put them all at the same time, how long it take for them to get around the sun? Let me know. Reflection. The Anunnaki was doing shit we still trying to figure out. We are still trying to figure it out to this day. Reflection. These are some highly intelligent beings. What a lazy crew sound like the crew, sound like the passenger riders, reflection. Next time y'all need to make sure they got some water to put in the spaceship, because we see right now they don't like to work. They're not good team players, baby. They act like they with you, and then when it's time for them to get what I'm saying, they want you to get off the spaceship and shit too. Hold on, I just rolled all the way over here. I just drove us to Earth, so you want me to get out and get the materials, the resources, the bags too? I'm not doing it. Hit the like button, reflection. Little technical difficulties. Just stay with the crew.
Pyramids that are under 1.5 to 2 miles of ice in Antarctica, and that the way we have been getting into Antarctica for the last 15 or so years has been through submarine into some part of Antarctica under the water.
70% of the Earth is covered by water, and we've only explored 5% of our oceans. You would think that before we go to the moon or we do anything else, we would know what's under our oceans, what's on our own planet. So for years, I've been researching UFOs, which are coming in and out of waterways. This has been going on actually for centuries. The first UFO documented sighting that was coming in and out of the water was 1067. This has been going on for centuries, long before we had any capability of any travel underwater, let alone in and out of the water, which is still difficult for us. So now I'm narrowing it down section by section, waterway by waterway, trying to discover the best possibilities for an underwater alien base. I found military bases, I've found submarine bases, and some of the areas with all the activity, there just has to be some type.
She said, where the fuck is the Anunnaki at? Now, shit, she want to know. I want to know. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you just jumped in, we're talking about the Anunnaki returns. We done talked about the crew that they brought with them. Reflection, they didn't have no water, didn't have no gas money. They didn't want to get no bags. They didn't want to mine for no gold or nothing. Reflection, they won't do nothing. Okay, so the Anunnaki was like, listen, we got to create another race because y'all lazy. Yes, you better be glad we far from home too, because I would have put your ass out right here. Okay, hit the like, subscribe, but I'm just trying to tell you what the Anunnaki, what I think I'm channeling, what they said, reflection. Okay. Now, this particular researcher, she's trying to figure out, remember, they say as above, so below. Now, some people think that the Anunnaki is coming from above, but other people, we just going down a rabbit hole. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Nothing is true. Everything is alleged. They trying to maybe get back on the spaceship. Y'all, I'm telling them, listen, reflection, I got to hurry up. They say, a lot of people think, reflection, that they are coming from the bottom, down in the bottom. And I ain't talking about where the girls get naked in the water, reflection. Think about it. I'm just thinking. I ain't even saying shit, y'all. I'm thinking. If most of the earth haven't been explored is water, and if I wanted to hide something, and I was from another planet, and I know y'all don't even barely got the technology to even get to the nitty and the gritty of the ocean. What would I probably put a portal or two in that motherfucker, reflection. I'm just saying what I would do. I'm talking about I'm talking about T, reflection. I'm not talking about the Anunnaki. I'm not saying it. Now I know they need allegedly a little water. I know they need a little water because they only come over here on a 4 tank of water, reflection, in their spaceships. Now think about that, reflection. Why would they, if this is true, allegedly, why would they be in the water? Do you think it's because they don't want to be seen? Do you think it's because that's what all the water stations is, to fill up not the gas stations, but the water stations? Are they underwater, reflection? What's under there? Is it the Anunnaki under there? Are they coming from below and not above? What is it, reflection, or shit? Are they everywhere? What's going on?
That's what I believe. That's what Zecharia Sitchin came to believe, because he translated the Sumerian tablets. He was a qualified scholar. He did years of work, and he wrote several books on this, and I recommend them to you if you want to know this in detail. He called the Earth the seventh planet. We call it the third planet. Now, why did he call it the seventh planet? Because he was translating the Sumerian history and the Anunnaki description of the Earth. And since they came to the Earth from outside the solar system, they started counting the planets out there from Pluto inward. And if you count from Pluto inward, you find out that the Earth is the seventh planet in the Anunnaki scheme, although it is the third planet from the sun in the way we see the solar system. I referred to Maurice Chatelain, who was an engineer with NASA. Maurice Chatelain was a genius, and he found in the Sumerian tablets a whole series of numbers, astronomically large numbers, numbers beyond even our modern need or comprehension.
So what do you think the Anunnaki? I'm trying to tell you, reflection. If this, we just thinking, shit, roll up, hold up, reflection. If this planet is built off of numbers and symbols, reflection, because symbols are nothing but numbers, okay? And the Anunnaki had a tablet full of nothing but numbers. Remember, no, a lot of shit lie on this planet, but numbers will never lie to you, reflection. If it say you ain't got but $2.22 in the account, that's all in the reflection. It ain't $22.22. It's only $2.22. Get you some abracadabra. Okay. Now, reflection. If this is true, why would the Anunnaki, he's thinking that the Anunnaki is coming from, she was thinking they coming from below. She think they coming out the water. He thinks they're coming from out of space, reflection. They done past the alleged dome and everything. They came and penetrated through space. You get what I'm saying? They came through, reflection. Do you think that's what's going on? But remember the other man, we got three theories here. Now, the man in the beginning of the video, he said that the Anunnaki been here. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Allegedly. The Anunnaki been here. If they ain't coming from above or below, they been here. They walking amongst you. That's what he is saying. I didn't even say that shit. Reflection.
Things zipped across the screen. He said, "What is that?" And he said, "Well, that's what we call a fast mover. This isn't anything biological, and it's way faster than anything that we have." He said, "So it's basically an underwater unknown, and we just log it and stow it away. You didn't see it." There's a lot of activity that comes in and out of lakes, and I don't think that's necessarily a base, but it is a very good hiding place, and it might also be a place where these craft are refueling. I'm trying to focus more on areas like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has more activity of UFOs coming in and out of the water, and from what I've understood with my research, they're also coming into the atmosphere through a wormhole and then entering the water. I interviewed Jorge Martin, who is the expert researcher on USOs.
So what do you think, reflection? They said shit. They coming from the all four elements. They coming from the earth, the air, fire. They coming from volcanoes too. Don't get me started. I'm just trying to see, reflection. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just trying to see, is the next video, do we need to go down a rabbit hole? Do we? Is that what's going on, reflection? Let me know. Let me know. Because she said, I didn't say it. You heard what she said, reflection. She said that they have had a lot of sightings, reflections. If you go back and you do your research, this is nothing, no reflection. They have been having these sightings all the way back to the 1300s. I can't lie. I can't make this shit up, reflection. Remember, don't listen to Terethia. Go do your own research. But they are saying, reflection, that these particular crafts are not only in the air, they're in the water too, reflection. They're in the water too. Hit the like and subscribe button. You are over here with my crew. They just hit the red and the green light. It's time for me to get back on my spaceship. Join me back for part 2, because we got to see where the Anunnaki at, reflection. I want to know, are they as above? Are they so below? Are they walking amongst you? Let me know. Until next time, I